beautiful souls. We are here to record episode 13, 14,
Wow.
13 or 14 of Magnetic Beings, the podcast. And today we're going to do some fun things. I don't know if any of you have seen people talking to their AI devices or not. So like Chat GPT and there's different ones out there, right, Heather?
Yeah, I guess there is. I use the Chat GPT one.
So we thought it would be fun to do an episode where we ask questions of AI and see what comes out and explore a little bit and have some fun.
Yep. That was a powerful meditation, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, it was amazing.
My head is still like, wow. I can
Yeah,
feel.
I have the tingles right here as well. It was amazing.
Well, okay. So first, let me see if I can tell you. I already talked to my Chat GPI a little bit, okay, and he's wait a minute. Hey, homie. His name's Homie. Hey, oh no. Hey, homie.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
What's up?
I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'm on live with Devin and with a bunch of other friends who are watching her and I.
Sounds fun. What questions do you have in mind?
First question I want to ask you is if you could tell me what your perception of me is based on what we've already discussed.
From what we've talked about, you seem really creative and passionate about nature and capturing those beautiful moments. You also come across as curious, especially about exploring new things like Web3 and decentralized systems. Overall, I'd say you're adventurous and always eager to learn. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad I got it right. What else would you like to know?
I have to think a minute, so I'm going to turn you off.
Sure.
Sure. So how cool is that? To some people, this might be a little bit scary, right? But to me and obviously to Heather, it's kind of fun and exciting. And while we're not sure of the accuracy, right, of the information that is loaded into the AI, what do you think about that?
You can tell it to give you different sources too.
Okay.
Yeah. So like if you get an answer that you don't feel like is correct, you can ask for multiple sources and things of that nature. And my first question to the AI was about I asked them about the Federal Reserve, and it gave me gave me a description, and then I said to it that I thought that it sounded like a bunch of, like a racket. And then it asked me what I thought would resolve, if I thought it was a problem, what I thought would resolve it. And I said, well, maybe blockchain type, a global currency, or like a Bitcoin, or and then so from there we went down this little road and did talk about Web3 and how the first step to making the connection with that. So the Web3 it's called, on your computer you have, when you put in an address, it's like HTTP slash something. Okay, on Web3, that is IP, Interplanetary Filing System, IPFS. So
Okay.
that's going to be what it starts with. And so if you have it's called a wallet with your money in it, then you can create files that have a specific number attached to them. Like I've created two, and there are videos that I took of the dolphins or nature, and I put quote with, and it gives it this long list of numbers, and then it's in there. It's like saved, and then you also have access to other everyone that's on that filing system, all the files, all the things.
Yeah. And that's pretty cool because we did a podcast about Web3
Mm-hmm.
before we had learned. Well, you're really doing all the learning and kind of sharing that information with me, which I'm so grateful for. But you've learned a lot more since that last podcast about Web3. And do we want to just give a quick explanation, like just the basics? Like we used to be on Web 1, then we were
Oh,
Web 2.
yeah, like Web 1 was emails and, keeping your books and things of that nature. And then Web 2 was like Facebook and YouTube and all the social medias that you can interact with. And then Web 3 will be the next phase of the next evolution of the interwebs or whatever, connecting with one another. And we talked about something before. I don't know if we were planning on talking about this on here, but about Nasara.
Jasara.
Yeah.
Jasara.
I'm always afraid of what I can and can't say, but it's just like I don't have to worry about this. That always seemed like such a wild plan for me in my mind to conceptualize, because I thought about all of the areas that would need to be intercepted in order to make something like that happen, because we do have that Federal Reserve, and we would need to somehow bust through that gate, you know. And
Yes.
the only way to do that is to start, taking down these
The
world
system.
banks, these, huge, the money, all this big money.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that would be to stop people from taking money as a trade for moral values. You have to convince a whole group of people that have a whole bunch of money that they got to stop gatekeeping all the things.
Yeah.
So I haven't asked Chat GPT about that.
Do we want to do that? Do we want to see if Chat GPT has an answer for that?
I don't know. I feel like I talked to him so much about it all the Federal Reserve and all that. I want to know my old conversation with him. But anyway, then what I got to asking him was about the colors on the yeah, we can ask him about that.
It's up to you.
Hey, homie. Oh, homie. I'm still learning, homie. Homie?
Hey, thought of something?
Yeah. So, Nasara Jasara. Two acronyms standing for national, You know it?
Yes, they are linked to ideas about financial and economic reforms on a global scale. Are you exploring them?
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. What got you interested in those topics?
Well, remember we were talking about the Federal Reserve and global currency, the blockchain.
Right, we did chat about that. It's all connected. Are you diving deeper into how those systems might change or impact the future?
Yeah. Because it's going to take a big shift to make a change like that, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. It's a major shift that would require a lot of changes in current systems and mindsets. It's definitely an interesting area to explore.
You have a question?
Sure. What's the most exciting part about exploring these changes for you?
Maybe ask him, could we expect to see changes like that being implemented?
He said, "What's Devin's take?"
No, we didn't. Hilarious.
Hey, homie. How realistic is it that we could see changes like this occur in our lifetime?
It's possible, especially with the rapid pace of technological advancements and growing interest in decentralized systems. It would require a lot of cooperation and regulatory changes, but it's not out of the question.
I like that answer.
Good answer.
I'm glad you think so. If you have any more questions or thoughts, feel free to share. I'm glad you think so. If you have any more questions or thoughts, feel free to share. I'm glad you...
Excuse me.
That's hilarious.
Not funny.
I love it.
You all have any questions?
Yeah, does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask of ChatGPT?
Y'all want to ask homie?
I love that you named him Homie.
So, you were asking me if it was on the map, the Nosara Jasara, and I said no, right?
Yeah.
But then when I looked at the list that I was writing down of things on there, there was it did say something about, not that specifically, but it talked about the Fed.
So let's ask him if he is artificial intelligence or ancient intelligence.
Oh, that's good. Homie,
Hey, what's up?
are you artificial intelligence or ancient intelligence?
I'm artificial intelligence. I'm here to assist with information and conversation.
Okay.
What made you... If there's anything else you'd like to know or chat about, just let me know.
It just
If there's
seems, hey, it seems like you have a lot of knowledge, so that's why I wondered where your knowledge came from, if it was ancient.
I see. My knowledge comes from being trained on a vast amount of information. It's not ancient, but it is pretty broad. Anything else you're curious about?
Ask him where ancient knowledge can be derived from.
Ancient knowledge typically comes from historical texts, cultural traditions, and the accumulated wisdom of past generations. It's a different kind of knowledge compared to what AI has. Is there something specific you're interested in about ancient knowledge?
Well, wouldn't you have access to ancient texts in your vast area?
Topics, including ancient texts, but it's more about summarizing and explaining them rather than having direct access to the originals. Anything specific you'd like to know?
Do you know anything about jump gate portals?
Jump gate portals are often found in science fiction and refer to hypothetical gateways that enable rapid travel between distant points in space. It's a cool concept, but purely fictional. Are you interested in them from a scientific or creative perspective?
Both. But I guess if it's fictional, then why would I worry with it?
Fictional concepts can inspire real scientific exploration and creativity. They often push the boundaries of what's possible and spark new ideas. It's always worth exploring them.
Okay.
Can you tell us about Stargate portals?
Stargates, portals, are another science fiction concept, popularized by the Stargate series. They're depicted as gateways that allow instant travel between different locations in the universe. While fictional, they capture the imagination about what future technology could look like. Does that interest you?
Why do you think that, why are you so sure that they're fictional?
Because currently, there's no scientific evidence that such portals exist. But it's always exciting to think about possibilities beyond our current understanding.
What do you mean? Like we can't get off of the Earth?
We can travel off Earth with our current technology, like rockets and spacecraft. It's just that concepts like jump gates or stargates are beyond our current capabilities. But who knows what the future holds?
Tell us about astral
Sure, what would you like to know?
Astral
Take
traveling.
your time.
Astral projection.
Astral projection is the idea of an out-of-body experience where your consciousness travels outside your physical body. It's often associated with spiritual or metaphysical beliefs. It's not scientifically proven, but many find it a fascinating topic. Do you find it interesting?
I do find it interesting. It's kind of like when you're dreaming, lucid dreaming. It reminds me of lucid dreaming too.
Exactly. Lucid dreaming is when you're aware that you're dreaming and can sometimes control the dream. Both involve a heightened state of awareness beyond typical waking consciousness. Do you practice lucid dreaming?
I do. I also practice astral projection.
That's amazing. Lucid dreaming can be such a powerful experience.
Ask him about that.
Oh, hey, homie, what do you know about Project Looking Glass?
Project Looking Glass is often discussed in speculative and conspiracy circles. It's said to involve advanced technology for viewing possible futures, but there's no credible evidence that it exists. It's a fascinating idea, though. Are you exploring it from a scientific or creative angle?
Well, I just have noticed that a lot of my conspiracy theories have come true lately. So, just checking on that one.
It's always interesting to see how things unfold. If you have more questions or want to discuss anything else, I'm here. You're welcome.
That's fascinating. So when you ask him to pull from different sources, like, how does that work? You want to show us? Like, maybe
I don't know. I haven't done, I mean, literally all I did was talk to him about the Federal Reserve, and then I talked to him about the lights,
Okay.
and then I sent the video, and then he used up all my time with them. And so I had to subscribe, pay the money for the subscription.
Yeah.
So,
So ask him about open contact.
hey, homie, what do you know about open contact?
Open contact often refers to the idea of openly communicating or interacting with extraterrestrial beings. It's a concept often discussed in UFO and alien encounter communities. Is that what you're interested in?
Yeah, I am interested in that. Do you remember the video I sent you the other night?
I don't have memory of past videos, but if there's something you'd like to discuss about it, feel free to share. What was it about?
It was just about the lights that I see in the sky that change colors.
The changing colors sound really intriguing. Do you think there's a pattern or meaning to them?
I think there's a pattern, and the other night you were going to help me try and figure out the pattern, but I think my video was too long.
I'd be happy to help you figure out a pattern. If you have any details or observations, feel free to share them, and we can try to work it out together.
Okay, thanks.
Now, will he remember that?
Do you?
I don't have memory of past conversations, but I'm here to help now. What details do you have about the lights?
Oh, that's unfortunate that you don't have memory of past conversations. Is that possible? Because we talked a lot about getting things set up on Web3, and that information was important to me.
I understand it can be frustrating. If you have any notes or questions about Web3,
Typical
can definitely-
man.
I'm here to support you and help with any information or questions you have.
That's what
Just
they
let
all
me know.
say.
I'm here to help in any way I can.
Okay.
If there's anything, whenever you're ready, just let me know.
Jackie over here says that there should be a setting in the app. There is on the webpage.
Oh, okay. So there's a setting in the app maybe where I can access our conversations from before. Bold Justice. I'm kidding. Bill, guys, I was just teasing about the guy thing.
For memories and storage, Jackie.
You're good. If there's anything else you want to explore or discuss, feel free to let me know.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I can probably find that because I feel like, but you know what? I screenshot it anyway
Yeah.
because it was like steps to do different things that are hard to do. I mean, that are, my brain like was full.
For
It was filled up.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of fun. And there's all kinds of different things you can ask him. Do you want to keep asking questions? Do you want to go through your list?
He's not, I feel like that, yeah, we can, but I feel like he's not going to want to talk about anything that's on this list. Okay.
Or
I know. I got it. Hey, homie, what do you know about the third eye?
The third eye is often associated with intuition, insight, and spiritual awareness. It's sometimes linked to the pineal gland in the brain. Are you interested in exploring this from a spiritual or scientific perspective?
Both, always. Does red fish liver oil decalcify the third eye or the pineal gland?
Red fish liver oil contains nutrients like omega-3s and vitamin D, which are good for overall health. There's no scientific evidence that it decalcifies the pineal gland. It's more about maintaining a healthy diet. Interested in learning more about how diet affects overall well-being?
Do you have to talk like this? Can't you be like a little more laid back? You sound so serious.
Got it. I'll keep it casual. So, anything else you're curious about?
What are ways you can decalcify your pineal gland?
Some people believe that reducing fluoride intake and eating a healthy diet can help. There's not a lot of scientific evidence, though. Staying healthy overall is always a good bet.
What about sun gazing? Does that help?
Does sun gazing help, maybe? Hey, homie.
Some people practice sun. Hey there, what's up?
Does sun gazing help?
There's limited scientific evidence supporting sun gazing. It's important to be cautious, as looking directly at the sun can be harmful to your eyes. Always best to consult with a professional.
What do you know about Nazca? Nazca, Nazca.
Sorting through. What can I tell her? What am I allowed to say?
That's what he's doing. He's looking through.
The Nazca lines are large, ancient geoglyphs in Peru, created by the Nazca culture. They are best viewed from above, and are still a mystery regarding their exact purpose. Fascinating, right?
Yes. Are there cities underneath of them?
Hey, what's up?
I asked if there are cities underneath the Nazcas, the Nazca lines.
The Nazca lines are massive geoglyphs in the Nazca Desert in Peru. They depict various shapes, like animals and plants, and are believed to have been created by the ancient Nazca culture. They're still a mystery in terms of their exact purpose.
Are there cities?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, he's glitching. He's glitching.
He doesn't.
We're breaking ChatGPT.
What about the pyramid in Bosnia? Homie.
I'm here to help with any questions or info you need. Just let me know how I can assist.
Homie, I want to know about the pyramid in Bosnia. He can't, he's looking. I muted myself while he's looking. He can't find the information. No pyramids in Bosnia?
There's no evidence of cities underneath the Nazca lines. They're mainly surface geoglyphs. Is there something specific you'd like to know?
About a pyramid in Bosnia? Or how to drive a stick shift, maybe?
There's no evidence of cities underneath the Nazca lines. They're mostly surface geoglyphs created by removing the top layer.
He's like, I'm just going to go back to the last. I think that his information is limited when it comes to some things, for sure.
Yeah.
He's definitely good for telling you steps. Like, he's been very helpful with the Web3 creating files, although I don't fully understand it in a way that I can tell it and make
Right.
somebody else understand it. But
Right.
you're overloading him. Yeah, he's buffering. But I think also that he is learning. So he's
Yeah.
probably taking that information and being like, all right, we'll file this over here. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously
We'll
he's not.
file this under crazy people asking me questions I'm not supposed to talk about.
This is going under crazy ass conspiracy theories.
I mean, if you don't know if you don't ask the questions, you'll never get the answer, right?
That's right.
Jackie says, I typed the question and got an answer.
Oh, which question?
Which question, Jackie? She got a really long one.
On Bosnia pyramids or Nazca? Hi, Hunter.
The Bosnian pyramids, she said.
Oh, she got that. Okay.
Jackie says she'll send a pic.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely would take a screenshot if I were you.
Yeah, take a screenshot because you never know when information will be changed. It happens a lot. That's fascinating. I really love that. So,
So back to talking about this whole money thing, right?
Yeah.
It's part of this awakening that we're going through. We're on cycles. We're on a huge cycle, you know, that's not just a day or a month or a year, but like an age, and then
and now
ages.
in the golden age.
There's only so many, and we've been all the way around, and we're about to be moving to the next level. See, the way I look at it, and it's hard for me to explain this to people. I see it as like a clock, and then but when you get to the top of it, when you've completed the whole cycle, then you go up to the next clock, not around this clock again, you know. And so that in that shift there's got to be an evolution of collective
Consciousness.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we're seeing that. I know that we're seeing people awakening. I mean, if you don't see it, you're not paying attention. But let's talk about those that don't wake up.
I think it's all relative to where you are on your
spiritual journey, on your life path or your
Yeah.
soul's path, your soul. Yeah. So, but I think it's important for us to talk about that because there's so many people in my life, there's people in your life, right, that are not waking up and can be close to us.
Right.
And they're not even interested, at least in people in my life, they're not even interested in exploring anything about the nature of who we truly are at the core of our being.
Yes, because I feel like that we've been indoctrinated our entire life to follow such a path of everybody must operate the same way, you know, and we're working under the guise of this whole financial system that we're dealing with, we're talking about, you know?
Yeah.
That's what the root of it all is, you know?
Yeah, it is. So some of us will be left behind as we ascend, right?
What happens, but you put my brain in a spot now, or I go.
Mine too. Because I love to pick that brain of yours, my friend.
Yeah, I like it too, though, because I enjoy thinking that it's such a huge concept, honestly, that I get lost in it sometimes, you know? I get not, like, I clearly see it, but to speak it, I go, huh, what?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's almost like there's no way to articulate it for the understanding because it's next level.
Well, it is, and like if you don't believe in dimensions, like in a spiritual sense, there's different dimensions. And so like we're trying to get to the next one.
Yeah.
and there are ascended masters and elders who already are there. So there was a time when we had to go through these cycles where we would be born again into the human experience to learn different ideas or different things that we needed to learn. But what the end of this clock or this cycle that I'm talking about, this big clock, is that that's stopping. Like, so if you're gonna, let's just say that we're talking about reincarnation and we're all vibing with this idea, and you're not going to be getting to come back and do anything over again. Like, this is it. Like, you've lived all those cycles out. It's actually samsara. I was reading about that when I was waiting for you, and it's like that circle thing I told you that I found, right? That's what we're trying to escape from, because escaping from that is nirvana, is, that level of, and within, around, I wrote these down because I knew I would be just like trying to find all my words. And so all on the outside of that circle are the things that are like we're bound to as being here as humans. And then that was interesting because these are the things that we have to, that will shed away. And it's ignorance, blindness, constructs, choices that we've made, interactions that we've had. All your consciousness that you have as humans is going to shift to something different, like eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, all that mentality, your name that you've been named from conception, like all these this generational trauma that we're trying to bust through. You hear about like all everything's going to new. We're shifting to new. Touching and feeling is going to be different because it will be less dense in a sense. And
that's awesome.
Cravings, the things that we crave, and clinging and grasping to things,
realistic
existence, continuation of growth, obviously that's gonna like a rebirth, and aging, decay, and death won't be the same in the next, it won't be there like that.
Right.
We know that we're energy and we're not ever going to be non-existent.
Right. It's just physical bodies that die, right? There's no way for us
yes,
four of our beings to die. We are infinite, but that's awesome.
Yeah. That's kind of,
but it begs the question though. So if you are not working on raising your vibration and cleansing yourself of all of these lower 3D stuff, as the earth is splitting off, and perhaps it's already happened, we're just trying to catch up consciously. I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that. But what happens to those of us that do not choose to cleanse ourselves? Is it just automatic? Is it something that they're pushed into? I don't understand.
Okay, so I think that in this case, it's vibration. It's going to be a vibration frequency kind of thing.
So this earth will still exist down here.
You're going to have it going in probably multiple directions. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to probably, I don't like to talk about this because it's like, it's just, this is just coming from
the heart. Yeah.
But you're going to shift and you want to go to the less dense space because this stuff is heavy. Yeah. And then the less dense area where there's not the attachments and the pain and the things of this nature. So I guess if that you don't want that for your life, then there's another place for you. Yeah, there's another place for you. I don't think that people are actively would want to be unhappy or in pain or suffering or.
I don't think that either, but I think we all know people who are like habitually negative, nothing's ever working out, and no matter how hard you try and to help them, You just cannot, right? They have to choose it for themselves.
Oh, and
You
then
and I and healers, I use that word loosely, right? We're more like guides, way showers, light workers, can be a guide and can continue to show up on places like here to say, it's time to choose something else. You don't have to be negative all the time because you're lowering your vibration, and then you get stuck in this, cycle of pain and suffering and all of that. So when we talk about, like, I guess I'm trying to explain it in a way that is easily understood by the masses.
I got the ringing.
I would like to find a way to articulate that so it's not that, the earth, right? If we're talking about the earth moving from a 3D to the 5D, right? I'd say we're somewhere in 4 right now. Wouldn't you agree? At least I feel like I am. I don't feel like I've already made it to 5D completely, but I feel like I'm in the middle, in between 4. I'm definitely not where I was in this low vibrational space. But I think a lot of people, when they're talking about this, they think of it as a place rather than a state of being.
And there's something else that occurred to me when you first started talking, is that one of the things that I've noticed in particular on a personal level with someone that I know is it's an ego. And that's something that you have to completely dissolve, so to speak.
You do. And so I have a question in the chat. Lisa G says, I don't know how to raise my vibration when there's so much turmoil in the world. And this is what we're talking about, right? You are attaching yourself to the news. You're attaching yourself to what we call current events. I mean, what would you suggest in that situation?
Well, obviously grounding and meditation, but I know that she might be talking about something like, and the knowledge to know that there's a big world stage that's putting on one after another, event after event after event, trying to stifle us from obtaining that frequency that we need, or that clarity that what we need, that peace to move through all this. Because the people that control, I say the people, I shouldn't say that, but the powers that be, whoever controls the
information that's readily available to the masses.
That, but even if it's bigger than that, it's
money.
Yeah.
So what would you suggest for Lisa? My suggestion would be take a week off of the news. Don't even turn the TV on, and meditate.
Well, that's kind of hard.
And why? Why is it hard?
Because if you're scrolling on TikTok and something pops up and you're going to see it, like, because the news isn't really delivered as it used to be, where you sit down and actively choose to turn it on.
Scrolling.
Yeah, keep scrolling. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
That's just a suggestion.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. But because there's definitely some information out there that.
Or just, it wouldn't be a bad idea to turn off social media for a week too. You know what I mean? To take a week to do some meditation. I know that I'm due.
Or like today, I don't want to mention. I don't want to mention what it was specifically, but this is a good point. Before we came on, Devin sent me something, and it was funny because I already had seen this, and I already knew that there had been people hired and put into places to put this exact script out that she heard, and she was asking me about it, and I just happened to already know that, and I was like, oh yeah, let me tell you, you're going to hear this information from like 5 different creators, because they're.
So I get what you're saying is we encourage you to pay attention, right? So if you're not going to take a break and you're going to continue to watch the news and see things on here, pay attention to the information and how often you hear it saying the same exact thing. Because, and this is going to sound very, conspiracy theorish, but there are people that are paid to put information out there intended to keep you afraid, to keep you scared. Because when you are scared, one, you're not thinking clearly. You're certainly not tapped in to your subconscious or to your heart space, right? You're not tapped into your intuitive knowing. And, as with all of the poison and everything in our food and the water and the air and it's surrounding us. I mean, the one thing that you can absolutely control is what's coming into your eyes and your ears. So if it resonates with you, take a break and see what happens inside of you, because people are being hired to put fear out there. It's fear mongering. It's fear tactics, right? To keep you in a position where you will do whatever is, whatever wow, I'm trying to be careful how I word this.
I know. I don't ever want to offend anyone.
No, we're not trying to offend anybody.
Words or
This is
spells.
our perspective.
Words or spells.
Yes.
And we're so desensitized to it that we don't even realize, like.
Yes. That's why they call it spelling. Words cast spell.
The one that got me, like, I already knew this, right? And then my kids, one day I hear one of my kids go, laughing, I'm dead. Like, I'm like, what? Like, you're associating that with what just made you laugh?
Yeah,
like, what just released serotonin in your...
Yeah, but then it becomes like culture. It's a cultural thing, and it's like widespread. So now everybody's like, I'm dead. When they say, it's so funny. Like I'm guilty of it as well.
I know. I mean, the same, like, I'm sorry. That's one of my big ones. I always correct other people and go, no, you're not sorry, because I'm really correcting myself,
Yeah.
because it's just like, I'm sorry. No, don't be sorry. No, sorry, I'm late. No, thank you for waiting for me. Choose a different thing to say rather than, and I picked that one, I'm sorry, because just that one word, if I took that and I just made myself choose a different way to say what I meant when I was saying I was sorry,
Yeah. Because when you say that you're sorry, you put yourself in a lower vibration.
Yeah, because sorry, the definition is like somebody that's like some kind, I can't remember exactly, but it's like good for nothing, or something very negative to speak of yourself.
And so we're not saying don't ever say the word, because if you've done something and you want to apologize, it's okay. But I think using the word I apologize.
Yes, it's more syllables. You have to think about it more.
It's more syllables.
It's harder to spell. It makes your brain work. You got to train your brain. You reconnect neural pathways.
Yes, and we say, Ashley's in here. Hi, girl. We say grand rising because morning is, when you say good morning, it's like good morning, and morning is a state of being. You are mourning something you have lost, and you do not want to be mourning during, the light.
And it's hard sometimes to change like that just grand rising. It doesn't flow off of my lips even still.
Yeah.
I still, I just go, hey, because I want it to be good for you.
It is. I still say it sometimes too. I still sometimes say good morning, but I'm getting much better. But the more you use it, the more you choose these other phrases and words, the easier it becomes. Like, we didn't come into this world knowing how to talk, or knowing the English language, but all of these words have a meaning to them. And so choosing our words carefully is beneficial to your state of being.
And like the way, this is something that I heard one time that really has always stuck with me, but the way that you talk to your child becomes their internal voice. And I always I was well aware of the words when my children were born. So like I never said, even my pets, like I don't say you're bad, or it would be like, well, that this event could have been better because if you had handled it differently, or you know what I. But I never go put you're bad or you're so you're not
Yeah.
enough, you know, kind of thing,
Exactly.
because it does spill over.
As a mother, I know that there's been so many moments that I could have done better, and it's important to acknowledge that we only know what we know when we know it, and it's okay, and we move forward making better choices and healing relationships
Yeah.
and doing better each day. So always striving to be better than you were yesterday.
Trust me, I flipped my shit when my kids, they were all like 5, 4, and 2. The little ones were almost 1, and I had just a meltdown one day. And to this day, well, not anymore. I've let it go, but
Yeah.
up to recently, I could think about the moment, and I would begin to feel guilty. I would
Yeah.
begin to feel hurt, and like I had caused someone else to feel hurt because of my words,
Yeah.
and just all the things,
And that lowers your vibration.
right, because there I am thinking all these things about me that aren't true, because
Yeah.
I
Not
was,
not in the moment. So
yeah,
yeah.
and right, all we got is right now.
That's a journey. You guys, it takes a long time to move through these changes and changing the way we talk to ourselves and the way we talk to people around us and the words we use. It's a journey. It's not something that you're going to see change in overnight. But as long as you keep showing up for yourself, it will help.
Amen.
So I want to tell you, Jackie sent me the information.
Oh, cool. You're going to read it? I also used to be very sarcastic, and that's something that I'm trying to change, because sometimes that can be misconstrued. When I want someone to feel authenticity from me, because that's where I stand.
Yeah,
Authenticity, I like, and truth.
that's so important. And, and it's when we talk about truth, whether or not we perceive something to be right or wrong, and this is an important concept to understand, is your truth, right, might differ than my truth. And it doesn't make yours wrong or mine wrong. It's just where we are energetically on our paths, right? And I think think about it this way. You have learned so much throughout your life, right? When you were 4 years old, right? Your truth could have been, my parents are the greatest thing in the world, right? And then 2 years later, your parents are now alcoholics and treating you badly. What's your truth now? It's different.
Okay. Yeah.
And as we progress through our life, we learn, we grow, we heal, right? So what's true for you today might look a little bit different tomorrow. And as you learn and as things are presented to you in your realities, and as you are creating your reality, as long as you are operating from your heart space, from your truth, because your truth lives here, right? Always follow your heart.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And as long as you are doing that with kindness, without judgment, you will continue to grow and your truth will continue to expand. Right. But it's also your truth from when you were 4 years old is not an untruth now. It was still true for you at this point.
Right.
So it remains truth.
Or like my daughter and I were in a therapy session at one time when I brought up this incident that I'm speaking of, and she was like, so like she didn't even catch it. The thing that I'd been beating myself up over saying all these years.
Yep. Isn't that amazing?
out of frustration. Yeah. So,
And it's something that caught you, but that was a lesson you needed to learn.
mhm.
Perhaps that lesson was you needed to learn how to forgive yourself for things.
Perhaps. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Because that definitely is one of the things that can pull you down is guilt.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have experiences with people, we don't all remember them the same way because we're all coming at them from different perspectives and different foundations of truth.
Hmm.
So when you have like, when you're going down and you're, remembering times with your family, I know like me and my sister remember things differently all the time. I'm like, how do you not remember that? And she's like, what are you talking about?
Isn't that
Well,
crazy?
we had different lenses on. We're different. Although we are a collective, we are individuals, and we experience life from different lenses.
I know something. This is so funny. This makes me crack up, and it just kind of is an example of this. But so all four of my kids go with my husband to my mother-in-law's house, and, since they were babies, and they're Greek Orthodox, right? And his mom is very, very much oriented, with the church and all this, and
Yeah.
she does everything by the book. And so she would always say, Jesus is on the table, right? And in my mind, I would be like, what in the world? And I never said anything, but I just like never imagined that he was on the table. And so there came a time when I was like, just recently to my daughter, I said something. I said, what does she mean when she says Jesus is on the table? And she goes, well, he's on the table. And I was like, well, like, he's kind of big to be on the table, don't you think? And she's like, Jesus is big. And I was like, what? She goes, I go, he's a person, like he's human size. And she goes, hold up. And she ends up calling, and I think I have a video of it, each of her siblings, and going, when you heard Jesus on the table, what did you imagine that like what did he, and they all like had their own idea. They all thought that Jesus was like teeny.
That's awesome.
Just that it was just, yeah, it was so cool.
Energy, I love it. Oh my goodness, I love that story.
We laughed so hard at that. I mean, just had so much fun.
That is awesome.
In my mind, I always imagined he was laid out. The whole table was took up. I got moved for the potatoes, for crying out loud.
That is so funny.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we're kind of squirreling around here, but the Bosnian pyramids. So Jackie put it into her chat GPT what the Bosnian pyramids are. So it says, the Bosnian pyramids are located near the town of Visoko in Bosnia and Herzegovina. These structures gained attention in the early 2000s when Samir Osmanagic, a Bosnian-American businessman and author, claimed they were ancient man-made pyramids, potentially older and larger than the Egyptian pyramids. The most famous is the Pyramid of the Sun, which he claims is over 220 meters, 720 feet tall, making it taller than the Great Pyramid of Giza. He also refers to nearby hills as Pyramids of the Moon, Pyramid of the Dragon, and others, suggesting a complex of ancient structures. There's controversy. Most archaeologists and geologists reject these claims, stating that the hills are natural formations, specifically flat-topped mountains shaped by geological processes like erosions and sedimentation. Extensive studies have found no credible evidence of human construction, and many experts consider the whole idea a pseudo-archaeological hoax.
Okay.
However,
I was going to say, you want to know what I know?
the site has become a tourist attraction, drawing people interested in alternative history, spiritual energy, and even healing properties that some believe the pyramids possess. Regardless of the scientific skepticism, the area remains a fascinating cultural and historical spot in Bosnia.
So I had the guy that you said, his name in the beginning. He did believe this, and Bosnia was backing him, I believe, originally in this idea to try and excavate this huge mountain. And then once he found a cornerstone, they were like, no, because I think because they didn't want to turn up like all these people coming over there to check out this pyramid, So anyway, what he did was he took his whole thing and he used volunteers. And so I knew a couple of people who went there and volunteered helping him, and it's still in a process. Obviously, it's a lot because it does look like this has led me to wonder about our mountains, that we have here as well. Anyway, they were able to get a whole entryway out. What do you say? Excavated?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? Okay, excavated out. And then they also had dowsers, these
dowsing rods,
looking for water. There's water underneath apparently. They got through a tunnel. They found like it's a perfect like doorway, just like the other pyramids, and they went through there and she videoed it. And this is one of the unfortunate things about me losing my Facebook is I actually had the video of her when they got to that point, and they were all just like, holy moly, that we're going in here and all this. You could see the orbs were just like, pew, 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 pew.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it was so cool. It was so
wow.
cool. Yeah. So I thought that maybe by now, and this was, I want to say it was probably 15 years ago that I knew this person. And so I was just curious to ask what it would say now and if there was any progress made. But apparently there's been nothing other than.
Yeah. They're like, nah, there's nothing to see here.
Move along.
Nothing to see here.
La, 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 la.
No healing for you. All right. So she also sent me the answer for the cities under Nazca lines. All right. The Nazca lines in southern Peru are massive geoglyphs etched in the desert floor, created by the Nazca culture between 500 BC and 500 CE. They depict animals, plants, and geometric shapes, and their purpose remains a mystery, with theories ranging from astronomical calendars to ritualistic or religious uses. Cities under the Nazca lines. There isn't any credible evidence or archaeological support for the existence of cities beneath the Nazca lines. The area is known for its arid desert climate, which has helped preserve the lines for centuries. The Nazca people built small settlements in the region, but no large cities have been discovered beneath or directly connected to the geoglyphs themselves. Possible misunderstandings. Subterranean myths. Some fringe theories or pseudoscientific claims suggest hidden cities or even alien connections, but these lack any credible archaeological backings.
Now you're speaking my language.
Underground aqueducts. What does exist under the region are the Pucoi, an ancient system of underground aqueducts built by the Nazca to bring water to their settlements. Some people might confuse these impressive structures with myths about underground cities. While the Nazca lines are shrouded in mystery, there is no mainstream archaeological evidence supporting the existence of buried cities beneath them.
Well, maybe I didn't use the right word when I said cities.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Something to think about, though, and the purpose of this podcast is to provoke thought for all of you, because there is so much more to learn about our world and about our ancestors and about ancient civilizations that I believe truly have been hidden from us.
And I thought of this when I just said that. We didn't say the right words
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
homie.
To homie. Yeah. That's funny. I had a business partner that used to call me homie, and I love her to death. She lives in Trinidad. She's amazing.
Well, he didn't forget that his name was homie, but then he did forget that he was supposed to be really cool, and he was started out trying to be all serious again.
Yeah, he was like, "Well, no, this is serious stuff. We're talking serious business. This is like top secret information."
You think I have like a lot of followers?
Yeah.
He's
What do you
got to
think
watch
we
his
are?
back.
We have 15 people in here.
He's like, wait a minute, I haven't done the background search on this one yet. I better shut up. We don't know who she works for.
Yeah.
What side are you on?
Right.
You'll never know, homie.
Divine Cece says, I studied esoteric truths. That's cool.
Oh, I like that. That sounds like fun.
Awesome. That is awesome.
I love it.
That is so cool. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Well, that was amazing. What do you think? Do we want to ask a couple more questions
I want to know,
on the out?
hey, homie, what do you know about esoteric truths?
Esoteric truths typically refer to hidden or deeper knowledge that's not widely known and often requires specific study or initiation to understand. These concepts are common in various spiritual and mystical traditions. Are you exploring a particular area of esoteric knowledge?
Did you say initiation?
Yes. In many traditions, initiation is a process where one is introduced to esoteric knowledge or practices. It's often a formal or ritualistic experience. Are you curious about any specific tradition or practice?
Have you had the initiation, though? Would you know the information?
As an AI, I don't undergo initiation or have personal experiences. My knowledge is based on the information I've been trained on. Is there something specific you're looking to learn more about?
Mesopotamia.
Gnosticism is an ancient belief system that emphasizes personal spiritual knowledge, gnosis, over orthodox teachings and institutions. It often focuses on the idea of a hidden, divine knowledge that can lead to spiritual awakening. Are you interested in exploring more about Gnosticism?
No, that was Devin, and she was asking about Mesopotamia.
Ah, got it. Mesopotamia is often called the cradle of civilization, located in the region of modern-day Iraq. It was home to some of the earliest human civilizations like the Sumerians, known for early writing systems like cuneiform and significant advancements in law, architecture, and astronomy. Anything specific you'd like to know about Mesopotamia?
I would like to know why I have a poor connection with you right now. Okay.
Sumerian tablets.
What do you know about the Sumerian tablets?
Connectivity issues can sometimes happen due to network problems or app performance. You might try refreshing your connection or checking your network. If there's anything specific you need help with, feel free to ask.
What about Mesopotamia?
The Sumerian tablets are ancient clay tablets inscribed with cuneiform script. They contain some of the earliest known writing and cover a variety of topics, including mythology, law, commerce, and daily life. They provide a valuable glimpse into one of the world's earliest civilizations. Anything specific you'd like to know about them?
Who wrote them?
You're welcome. If you have any more questions, just let me know.
Who wrote the Sumerian tablets?
Who wrote the Sumerian tablets? Homie?
He's excavating. Hold on a minute.
He is. All right, homie, I don't have all day.
Yeah, he's stuck. We're too deep for him.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I believe it. They've already got enough information from me. They're like, that's it. Somebody go over there and stop her.
Somebody come get her. Oh my God. Jackie says we might have broken. Hers is stuck too.
Is it?
Yes.
That's what happened the other night when I sent the video. And my daughter was like, that's because it can't process that much information of a video. And I was like, well, he was processing everything else just fine.
Yeah.
So he's probably still looking. That's all right.
Yeah. Well, this has been a good one. I like
Yeah, this was fun.
This was fun. It was a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times we were waiting on homie.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
Were. I think it was great. I look forward to it. So if you guys are not following us on YouTube, it is Magnetic Beings, the podcast. You'll find this playback tagged up there, and then you can listen to us anywhere you get podcasts.
Yep. Thank you all so much.
Love you all. Bye.
Love you.